Good morning, my YouTube viewers. It is Crystal here. I'm just here because I'm doing a code review on SQL, and doing it on the one compiler, online compiler, because I wasn't able to find anything to upload SQL on Microsoft Store. And since I couldn't find anything on SQL on Microsoft Store that was free, I decided to use an online compiler, and that's why we're using one compiler. And I'm using a company database that I got from, I believe it was Giraffe Training, and I will leave a link to the database in Giraffe Training, so you can have access to the database as well. And so I'm not really going to be covering everything I did to create the database, because I didn't actually do that. The guy that runs Giraffe Training is the one that made the actual database. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a code review from the database. So the first thing that we did was we created a table called employee, and it's got the employee ID, which is a primary key, a first name, which is variable character of 40, last name, variable character of 40, birthday is a date, sex is a variable character of 1, salary is an integer, super ID, that's the supervisor, is an integer, and branch ID is an integer. And then after we've created the employee table, we create the branch table, which you have the branch ID is an integer and it's a primary key. Branch name is a variable character of 40 characters. Manager ID is an integer. Manager start date is a date. And then you have a foreign ID, which is a foreign key, which is a manager ID. References, employee, EMP ID. On delete, set it to null. We're going to alter the employee table. You're going to add a foreign key, which is branch ID. References is branch ID. On delete is set null. You're going to alter the employee table again. You're going to add foreign key, super ID, references, employee, imp ID, on delete, set null. Going to create another table called client. Client ID is an integer and a primary key. Client name is a varchar of 40 characters. Branch ID is an integer. You're going to have a foreign ID of branch ID, which is references branch ID, on delete, set null. We're going to create another table called works with. It's going to be employee ID is an integer, client ID is an integer, total sales is an integer, primary key is employee ID, client ID, foreign key is employee ID, references, employee ID, on delete, cascade. Foreign key is client ID, references client ID, on delete, cascade. And then the last table we're going to create is going to be a branch supplier. Branch ID is an integer. Supplier name is a variable character of 40 characters. Supply type is a variable character of 40 characters. Primary key is a branch ID of supplier name. Foreign key is a branch ID of references branch ID, on delete, cascade. And then now you're going to insert some data into employees, and you're going to insert some data into the branch. And then you update ID. So set branch ID equals 1, where imp ID equals 100. You're going to insert some more data into employees. Now you're going to work on the Scranton branch. That was the corporate branch that we were working on. You're going to insert some more data into the Scranton plant. So insert into employee values, and then insert some more data into branch values as well. You're going to update employee, set branch ID equals 2, where emp ID equals 102. You're going to insert some more data into employees as well. And then now we're going to work on the Stamford branch. You're going to insert some data into employees, insert some data into branch values. We're going to update employee, set branch ID equals 3, where emp ID equals 106. So we're going to insert some more data into employees. And then you're going to have branch supplier. You're going to insert data into branch supplier. You have your client. You're going to insert data into the client. And you're going to have works with. You're going to insert data into works with. So now what we're going to do is, since we've talked about this database, and I will leave you a link to the database in the description box. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cover the queries for this corporate company database. So select star means that you select all of the columns from employee. So that's what we've done here. Let's just try to move this over. So this is your employees. So this is what you get when you select star from the employees. And now what we're going to do is we're going to select star from client. So that's all the clients. We're going to select star from employee, order by salary descendant. So the highest salary is on the top. So you can see David Wallace makes £250,000 a year. So we select star from employee, order by sex, first name, last name. So there you go. You have sex. It's ordered by sex. So you've got all the females first and then the males. Select star from employee, limit of 5. So what that does is that just gives you 5 rows of data, and it won't give you any more than 5 rows of data. And it says select first name as forename, last name as surname from employee. So now you have your forename and your surname. Select distinct sex from employee. So you have male and females, or M and F. And now we're going to do some SQL functions. Select count emp ID from employee. So that means there's 9 employees. Select count super ID from employees. So there's 8 employees that have a super ID. Select count emp ID from employee where sex equals F and birth date is greater than 1970-01-01. So that's 2, I think it is. Yeah. Select ABG salary from employee where sex equals M. So the average salary is $101,333.333, I assume. Select sum salary from employee. So that's 836000. Select count sex from employee, group by sex. So you have 6 males and 3 females. Select sum total sales imp ID from works with, group by imp ID. So this gives you your total sales for each employee. Select sum total sales client ID from works with client ID. So this is the total sales for each client. From star, select star from client where client name is like percentage mark LLC. So you've got John Daly Law LLC. And so the percentage mark is kind of like a wild key. Select star from branch supplier where supplier name is like percentage label percentage. And then so you've got two suppliers that have labels in the name. Select star from employee where birthday is like, and then it's going to give you 4 underscores, underscore dash 10 percentage mark, and that's going to be people who were born in October. So yeah, 1978, 01, 01. That's people born in October. So select star from client where client name is like percentage mark school, percentage mark. So you have a Dunmore High School. And now we're going to be talking about unions. Select first name as names from employee union. Select branch name from branch union. Select client name from client. So you got all the names that it gives you. The next union is select client name as names, comma, branch ID from client union. Select supplier name, branch name from branch supplier. So you get all the names, the supplier name and the client name and which branch it is. Select salary as money spent earned from employee union. Select total sales from works with. So that tells you how much money was spent and earned. And now we're going to do joins. Select employee.emp, comma, employee.firstname, comma, branch name from employee. Left join branch on employee ID equals branch manager ID. And so that's going to be David. That's going to be employee ID, first name, and branch name. So you can see that. And the next one is select employee ID, comma, employee dot first name, comma, branch dot branch name from employee. Join, right join branch on employee.empid equals branch manager ID. So you get that as well. Now we're going to do some nested queries. Select employee.firstname, employee.lastname from employee where employee.empid in. And then you do another select inside that. Select works with.employee.empid from works with where works with.total sales is greater than 30,000. And so you can see that the total, this is a list of all the total sales that are greater than 30,000. There you go. First name, last name, Michael Scott Stanley Hudson. And then we've got one more, which is select client name from client, where client.branch ID equals select branch.branch ID from branch, where branch.manager equals 102. So these are this is like a query in a query. And so this is all the client names where the branch ID is 102. And as you can see, as we went through this code review, the queries became increasingly difficult. So it's important to learn the simple queries first. And then when you've learned the simple queries, then you can move on to the more difficult queries. And then I got this information from an SQL tutorial. It was a 4-hour video, and it was done by Giraffe Training Company. And this is just a code review. This is the code that I did from the tutorial. So I hope you get something out of it. I'm still learning SQL. I'm just learning it. And we'll see how we get on with learning SQL, because I know Python. I studied a little bit of R, and I decided that I'd study some SQL. And then basically, they've got SQL and Kaggle, but you have to do SQL as inside a comment in Python, which I thought, well, that's not very good, because companies aren't going to be using Python to make their SQL queries, which is why I'm using one compiler, so I can do it in a more professional way. And I'm still learning, but I've got lots to learn, and I'll keep studying SQL and see how far I get. And who knows, it may come in handy one day. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. And I look forward to communicating with you in the next video.